You're listening to Gold Reaps, an unreleased track from Hair Control, a project by local artists Bourne and Reid. Gold Reaps is a sound collage of singing bowl, synthesizer, cassette bed tracks, vocals, and a 4 a.m. avian symphony from last spring. In the artist's words, Orphic echolocation for your ears.
This is Ears Have Eyes, a sound art radio program on CJSW 90.9 FM, broadcasting from the University of Calgary on Treaty 7 territory in southern Alberta.
Home to the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, the Stoney Nakoda, and the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3.
We are your hosts, Wayne Garrett
and Caitlin Brown.
Ears Have Eyes is an auditory exhibition space for sound art on the radio. Every month, artists and musicians respond to a different theme. The theme of today's show is self-titled, Ears Have Eyes, Spatial Conjuring and Ear-Specific Art for the Radio.
Participating artists are exploring the spatial aspects of sound to illustrate invisible worlds. Whether creating synaesthetic experiences, mapping the relationship between sound, sight, and identity, or using sonic means to create shapes, volumes, or places, these artists are asking,
how do we look with our ears and listen with our eyes?
Up next, we have a piece by Dadge. Known locally for his work with artists like Lab Coast, Chad Van Galen, and Samantha Savage-Smith, we invited Chris to join us on our first program because of his longtime dedication to noise and sound art through bug incision. The upcoming track is called Singing Rooms and was recorded in and around the Banff Centre in October 2016 and mixed at Childstone Studios in January 2022, especially for this episode of Ears Have Eyes. Singing Rooms is followed by Listen to Black Women, Again, by Jamilah Abu-Bakare. More about her piece after you hear it.
I have to say it.
I'm a black woman.
Black women.
I come from a black woman.
Determined, fighting black women.
Who came from a black woman, who came from a black woman.
God bless us.
And I'm going to give birth to a black woman. And
generations of black women. Generations of black women. Generations of black women.
Back to 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 back, and I get it, you know.
Determined, fighting black women.
Why is it so hard for people to understand or accept me?
You know, and
generations of black women have carried a disproportionate burden in the family as they are determined and were determined to keep its integrity intact against the constant onslaught of indignities to which it has been subjected.
So you get what I mean?
So if I say something, I'm saying something for a reason.
I gotta be the bitter black bitch because I have something to say about it.
The fact that I even have to answer these questions, the fact that I have to feel as if I have to prove myself, because every single part of me is being questioned.
As they are determined and were determined.
Whenever it comes to our things,
and I feel
I feel
like so many times black women say stuff and nobody gives a shit. Excuse my language. Nobody gives a fuck when sometimes black women say something. But somebody of another complexion, somebody of another color, they say something. And then it's like, we're taking it to court.
You know, and
it's time to get serious.
You know, and
hashtag me too.
And it makes me upset.
Why is it so hard for people to understand or accept me?
But I'm saying in general, whenever I have to say anything about anything, then it's like, oh, here go this crazy black bitch. Here this, da 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 da.
That she refused to be treated as less than a human being any longer.
So whatever you're feeling, take it to the altar. Because I'm not the one that's responsible for your feelings.
And that's really what you're attacking me for? That's really, think about it. You have no other reason to come at me.
I think people have such a perception of a black woman being so strong that we're just supposed to take anything thrown at us. And then when we don't, we're weak. Well, no, I'm supposed to get beat down by everybody that comes near me? No, I'll be that bitch.
I gotta be the bitter black bitch because I have something to say about it.
But at that moment, just to hear that, you don't even know how to react. You don't know if to be like, the fuck you just said to me right now?
But she's also talking about all of the anonymous black women who gave their lives through their participation.
I'll be that bitch. If that means I have to stand for me and I have to show other young women that you should not let people take advantage of you, no matter who they are. I don't care if it was the goddamn president.
Oh!
So yes. I have to say it. So if I say something, I'm saying something for a reason. I have to say it. You know, I can get crucified for saying things like this, but it is the truth. And I know that a lot of people like to cover the sun with one finger and pretend that the issue is not there, but that's what's happening. That because nobody wants to talk about it, it's been happening for years and years, and nobody is actually being vocal about it. I don't like when people think that somebody is just going to be saying something just to say it.
Hers has been a desperate effort to make a place of dignity for her people.
First of all, I love black people. I love my people. You know what I'm saying?
We're impeccable. We are impeccable. We're special, and the world is going to have to deal with that.
So whatever you're feeling, take it to the altar. Because I'm not the one that's responsible for your feelings.
First of all, I love black people. I love my people. You know what I'm saying?
And y'all sweep that shit right under the fucking rug.
We're just supposed to take anything thrown at us. You know what? Unfortunately, I almost feel that because I've heard it so many times. You know, there's this part of me that felt like, I don't even want to be mad at you. I just feel like I should educate you about it. Like, I don't even want to be mad at you because at this point, where have you been living? Under a rock? Like, but at the same time, I can't even be mad at you because it's kind of like, what the hell? You know, you just lazy. No, she depressed.
So until y'all motherfuckers are ready to talk about what y'all owe me, whether the number 7 trillion or 8 trillion or 9 trillion, at the very fucking least, y'all owe me the right to my fucking identity and to not exploit that shit.
Nobody really talks about it. We kind of just shut up and take it and just sit back. No, we're just supposed to take anything thrown at us. No.
It's like a black woman can really sit here and say whatever the fuck she feels like without being shot at or sprayed by a hose or some shit.
You know, I can get crucified for saying things like this.
We can say without the slightest hesitation that there has never been a single moment in the history of our people in this country when black women were not intensely involved in the resistance struggle.
My mother's raised me to be an incredible woman, and she's a strong, incredible example of what to be and how to fight through obstacles in life. And I'm sure her mom has also taught her. And that's how I'm going to be.
And when I speak of black women, I have to...
And I'm sure her mom has also taught her.
Praise my own mother. And when I reflect upon the long and infinitely rich history of struggle that has been written with the sweat and blood of black women.
You have to look a certain type of way in order to be pretty. Your hair needs to be straight and silky in order to be pretty.
No, it's not cool. It's not cool because that's not how it should be.
Well, then that's their problem. That's your problem. You know what I mean? That's your problem. You're picking and choosing. We come in so many shades. Listen, I'm a creative individual. I have so many shades.
We're impeccable. We are impeccable. We're special.
Oh my God, you're so pretty for being a black girl.
Really? At the end of the day, I don't wish nobody no ill, but I gotta be down for me. If I'm gonna be down for anybody, I've got to be down for me. So
that once black women became involved in the fight for the liberation of their people, then half the battle was won.
It's over, it's done, but at least anybody else knows I won't be tried. That's the real point of it all. You have to set your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? I have to let people know. Now y'all know.
I must admit that I felt very triumphant to be able to speak.
Listen, I talk about and it's so funny because I talk about so many different things.
And then, of course, when we speak of the involvement of black women in the struggle, black women who said no, they would not allow another one of their sisters to be swallowed up by the racist monster of repression, that she refused to be treated as less than a human being any longer.
You just heard Listen to Black Women Again, the second in a series by artist Jamilah Abu-Bakare, featuring the voices of Amara La Negra, Rihanna, Angela Davis, Keke Palmer, Azalea Banks, and Julie Black. Found sounds sourced online from interviews and speeches. In the words of the artist, this sonic essay interrogates the listener and their relationship to Black women, in the hopes that your next exchange with a Black woman, whether familiar or famous, will shift towards her liberation. Jamilah's work, along with 6 other artists, can be heard at Two Rivers Gallery in Prince George as part of their current sound art exhibition, The Politics of Sound, investigating the often overlooked role of sound within social relations of power. Even closer to home, you can visit an online sound exhibition curated by Jamilah, Aural Alterities, at AURALTERITIES.com. We'll share links to both exhibitions on hibernationproject.ca. Up next is an excerpt from A Monument to Tears by Tunnel, the collaborative project of Jen Reimer and Magnus Tiessenhausen. Recorded in 2016 in the Saddle Ridge Reservoir underneath northeast Calgary, A Monument to Tears is an unedited, unaffected, single-take recording from a 45-minute-long improvised choral performance, a collaboration with a massive concrete chamber in the architecture of the reservoir. The artists are sharing this excerpt in advance of their double LP release on noise label Aught Void. Links to this and more on hibernationproject.ca.
When your mother came about
No.
10 days ago, I said, I'm going to tell you something, but you have to believe me. You have to believe me, because who are you going to tell this to? They're going to think you're crackers, right? So I was doing this, but not telling anybody, because they'd put me down in the memory ward. So she said, of course I'll believe you. I said that sometimes I wake up and there's somebody standing by my bed. Sometimes at the side of my bed, sometimes by the window, sometimes by the door, sometimes quite close. Like the one that was here was really close. Even at Elbow Valley a couple times. I'd just stand there and I'd scream, and Bill would say, you're having a nightmare. Because you see somebody standing by your bed, you're going to holler.
Did you think that it was a ghost?
Well, I didn't know what to think. Yeah, what else? But like I said, they never talked, they never touched me. This is the first time I had one here. I was sitting here and she came and she was like down on her knees and she was in colored clothes. But that's the first time I've had somebody not in the bedroom. Although when I woke up last night, there was a big batch of flowers above the grandfather clock. It was huge, and they kind of moved across the ceiling and then disappeared. Even though I know that they're not going to hurt me, and that whatever they are, still they scare me.
So did you ever tell Papa about it?
Oh, I told him, but he just said I had a nightmare.
And he didn't ever see anybody? Because he had way worse macular degeneration than you do.
But no, he didn't ever say anything.
Why do you think that you wouldn't see people that you know or have known?
Well, sometimes that's if you really see. Some people, they don't know that they're dead, and they're still staying wherever they were.
Yeah.
And they have to learn how to leave. But
I feel like Papa would know that he was dead, though,
yeah.
Probably. If you hear someone else say that they're seeing people in their room, do you have any advice for how they should deal with it?
Well, first I asked them to get some history, whether they had been really sick, or whether they had low vision like I have, or whether they were on a lot of medication. Also not to be afraid because they can't hurt them. Talk to them slowly and nicely tell them to go away. If you just blink a little bit, they'll disappear. By the time you say, go, they're gone.
At the time of this recording in 2017, my grandma was 91. She's now 96, sharp as a tack, and has completely lost her vision. According to the National Health Service in the United Kingdom, Charles Bonnet syndrome causes a person whose vision has started to deteriorate to see things that aren't real. They may see figures, patterns, or animals, but for some reason, most people don't see familiar people or events they themselves have experienced in the past. The NHS stresses that these hallucinations are not caused by mental health or dementia, but failing eyesight. Most people who experience Charles Bonnet syndrome know their visions aren't real. Despite my grandma's poor vision, she saw her most recent ghostie less than a week ago. It was bright, focused, and clear as day.
You're listening to CJSW 90.9 FM. This is Ears Have Eyes, a sound art program.
Our next piece comes from Sydney-based sound artist Alexandra Spence from her album Waking, She Heard the Fluttering. Released in 2019, the artist describes the album as a kind of home-seeking, using sounds, subjects, places, and processes that surround her as a way to connect herself with the places in which she's been. This is Bodies in Place.
but next, Woodward's Food Floor, London Drugs International Village of Costco, where they got
You just heard Snow Impromptu by local composer and audio engineer John Abram. Recorded on Chimney Lake, BC in the 1980s, Snow Impromptu captures the untreated winter sounds of feet over changing surfaces. Grass, ice, wood, lake, cabin, deck, and more.
We are coming to the end of our first episode of Ears Have Eyes, a new sound art radio program on CJSW 90.9 FM, broadcasting from Treaty 7. Thank you to this month's artists, in order of appearance: Hair Control, Chris Dadge, Jamilah Abu-Bakare, Tunnel, Rosina Skulsky, Alexandra Spence, John Abram, and up next, Whitaco and Noel Begin. Next month, our episode's theme is Wilderness Wildness, Beyond Human Soundscapes. For more about these artists, or to submit your own sound-based work, visit hibernationproject.ca and look for the heading Ears Have Eyes.
The next piece comes from Whitaco, an Indigenous artist based in Treaty 6. 1879 is a track from brand new self-titled album, Whitaco, Wihtikikow, released on February 4th and available on Bandcamp. The album tells a story of the legend of the Wendigo. The segment you're about to hear focuses on the crimes of Swift Runner in 1879. As written by Joey Stormwalker, at first, Swift Runner became haunted by dreams. A Wendigo spirit came on him to consume the people around him. The spirit crept through his mind, gradually taking control. Finally, he was Wendigo, and Swift Runner was no longer. Then the Wendigo killed and ate Swift Runner's wife. This piece is followed by our final composition from Mohkinstsis artist Noel Begin, who shares a field recording of fireworks captured in the distance above the Calgary Stampede. His piece is called A Capture of the Night Airs and Distant Atmospheres That the Sky Sequesters. Thanks for listening to Ears Have Eyes, here on CJSW 90.9 FM. This is Whitaco.